The place is gritty, grungy, and grimy. So why have 300 people shown up to look at it?
That's pretty cool.
You don't see this kind of stuff every day.
It's a perfect place for a Frankenstein movie.
It's the Georgetown Steam Plant, a boiling hot blast from Seattle's past.
You see how this connected on the back like that?
And there's all these different places in here to explore. It's just an amazing space. And besides that, it's an incredible piece of Seattle history.
The Seattle Electric Company built the steam plant in 1906, mostly to power its streetcar system.
The Seattle we know of the different neighborhoods with the central downtown core was made possible by the electric streetcar system that was here in the early part of the 20th century, and the steam plant played an essential role in providing power for that system.
But the plant's usefulness was short-lived. Just a decade after these turbines were first fired, steam power was getting short-circuited by a cheaper source of electricity, hydropower. And over the years, the facility that had ignited a city's growth became just a hot backdrop for a dance video, band concert, or zombie movie. But you can't keep a good plant down.
I'm just amazed how preserved it is.
The Georgetown Steam Plant is firing up a lot of excitement.
Back in the days this place was built, a gauge was almost a work of art.
Now that Seattle City Light, the owner of the plant, has opened it back up for tours.
So we're standing in the real heart of the building, the engine room.
It's basically an open house and people are free to come in and walk around, and there's volunteers here to answer questions.
So we have 2 vertical turbo generators.
We take you through the building, we tell you about the history, we tell you about the equipment in here.
The spark plug is what makes the explosion.
We have one group of guys who are here all the time. They're guys who make these miniature replicas of old steam engines and put them on display here. It kind of adds a really cool sound to the building because you hear the little engines spinning and firing. It's really cool.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Instead of building this out of structural steel, they decided to build it out of reinforced concrete.
Mike Aronowitz is a senior environmental analyst at City Light. He volunteers his time to give tours here.
I just love history, but then the more and more that I see other people engage and interact with the building, their eyes light up and they ask questions.
The steam turbine is the silver unit.
It's just great, like meeting people who are interested in the building.
I think it's really cool about how everything works. I took 44 pictures of the whole place.
It's lucky for these visitors there's a steam plant here at all. It just barely escaped the wrecking ball.
So after the building was decommissioned in the 1970s, there was talk about demolishing the building, but we discovered the significance of the building. In particular, we had the last 2 operating examples of Curtiss steam turbines, and that helped save the building.
In fact, the Georgetown Steam Plant is now a National Historic Landmark.
It's interesting to see all this actual physical presence instead of all the computer and little, chips, and it's very intriguing, and we should preserve it.
It's important to recognize where we came from and how we got to where we are today. And it also has significance for the future.
It's called a side plate.
It's a place that brings people together to share it, and that's really important for building a civic community.
The electricity the Georgetown Steam Plant generated a century ago helped shape modern Seattle. Today, it's generating new memories as a time machine, taking visitors on a trip 100 years back to the city's past.
This is our heritage. This is who we are, and you're just able to step back in time. And I have a connection to this place. I didn't even know it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.